Welcome back to the weekly news roundup here on Switch to Linux. Today we are doing privacy and we're going to do business also in this section. So we're going to go ahead and have a little bit longer video, new experimental thing for the weekend videos. You guys let me know how you like this better or not. We're going to combine together two sections and only have 2 videos relating to the news instead of 4 videos relating to the news, so that more of our content on this channel is actually about Linux or privacy. One of those two. But anyway, we're going to start with our privacy today. So first and foremost, Facebook has an easier way to manage features that work across our apps. This is awesome! Now all of Facebook's stuff will have one centralized payment system to tie it all in. Is this one payment system to rule them all? I'm pretty sure they should call this Facebook Sauron edition, but the fact of the matter is they haven't. All right. So the idea here is that they wanted to have one account center where you can put a single payment system, and if you can use that one payment system across all Facebook properties. It's kind of part of the plan that Facebook Properties has. It's part of the plan Facebook Properties has to unify all of their data, all of their systems. This is the thing that people have been concerned about. When they bought things like Instagram, they're like, oh no, we'll never combine the data. In fact, it was a condition of their sale that you never combine the data. They're combining the data. So they're doing it now with the testing account services. Of course, we heard about a couple weeks ago that Facebook and Oculus are kind of merging. You get booted off of one, you'll get booted off the other, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so the next article is a proposed EU rule may mean that you can finally delete some apps from your phone. This is an interesting one, but I had to stare at this for a little while, and I was not able to get a copy of it to actually look at and answer my final question. So I'm going to do the best as far as I understand it, and from context we'll see. So what they're getting at is if you go to Verizon and buy a phone, it comes with all these Verizon bloated apps you can't get rid of, like the NFL app. Screw you, Verizon. I hate football, okay? No offense if you guys like football. I hate football. The last thing I want is some stupid football app hanging around on my phone that I can't delete. All right. These also pose extra risks. What if there's a security vulnerability in the app that's on my phone that I can't delete? And that allows you to get into the into my phone by utilizing that. That's kind of problematic, right? And so with this, they're doing 2 things, but one of them is completely opposite from GDPR. It's hilarious. All right. So the first thing that they are doing is they are requiring that apps can be deleted. Any app you put on the device can be deleted. Now, I know Apple's have been getting a little bit better at this now. Many of the apps can now be deleted that you may not want to use. Not all of them, but many of them can. And Android, again, many of them can. Again, not every one of them. So that's one thing. But the second thing is this, and it says quoted down here, it would not only require tech firms, that should be firms, not forms, tech firms to share data with smaller rivals, but also limit the ways companies can use customer data they've already collected. So on the one hand, you can only use the customer data for certain things, but on the other hand, all that data you collected, you have to share with your competitors. How is this GDPR compliant? Has the EU just gotten so big they're just collapsing under their own weight? Are they that big that they're just collapsing under their own weight? That is a fascinating thought to think of, right? It's just fascinating. So, and I had to read this multiple times. Is that really what I think it's saying? And it turns out from bottom quotes, absolutely. Meanwhile, Google, Facebook, Amazon, all of which rely on tying together vast streams of user and competitor data, are likely to object to the provisions requiring information they see as proprietary to being shared with their rivals. So it's doubling down. So yes, the data that they collect from your device, they have to share it with their competitors. It doesn't make any sense. I have no idea. Maybe the EU has just gone off all crazy on each other. Make a quick adjustment to the windows here for you guys suffering from OCD. My apologies. I usually balance that window out at the start of the show. From 9 to 5 Mac, privacy-focused Brave web browser now adds support for iOS 14 default apps. So if you'll remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about the iOS 14 now allows you to set your default apps. So you no longer have to use their apps for a few different services. Now you can use alternative apps. Okay, with the alternative apps, Brave is now an option. Now, originally it would reset those. That was a bug that is now fixed. 14.01 fixed that bug. So now if you set it and reboot your device, then those will be retained now. And Brave browser is now an option. So of all of these options, Brave is definitely your best bet for privacy. So built-in third-party ad blocker, pop-up blocker, saves battery and data, tracking protection, HTTPS everywhere, script blocking, history, private, and recent tabs, private VPN. Full disclosure, I've always been critical of the Brave browser, but of Brave, Safari, Chrome, or Edge, I'd probably use Brave and then Safari, and the other two are just the devil. I'm not... throw them in a pit, see which one survives, and use the last one as it's been eaten half alive by its competitor. But anyway, if you guys using iOS, you now have another option for your default being Brave browser, and that would be a good thing to have. Also from 9 to 5 Maps, should Apple and Google reward people for using contact tracing apps? Now, when Google and Apple were working on this API, they told us it's this privacy-based thing. We're not actually going to have this app in here. It's just an API that other people will have to use it. It has to be very strict requirements. And we found out since then this is all wrong. We talked about this. They shifted from just being an API to now both of them, Google and Android, Android and Apple, now have all of the built-in contact tracing stuff already built in. Because nobody was adopting it. Let's just make it easier to adopt. Yay! And so they went ahead and did that. So now the contact tracing stuff is there. And the reality is, no, I don't want to be paid for using contact tracing apps. I will not be using contact tracing apps. In fact, with all of the insanity, I generally don't go into society much anymore, except going over down to the Amish area where COVID doesn't exist because they don't have television for the media to tell them how bad it is out there. When I see people dying in the streets, I will take this a little bit more seriously, but I read the CDC's numbers rather than watch CNN. CDC, not CNN. You read the real numbers, you're like, this actually is a super bad of a deal. At least not for a guy my age and health. With all that being said, though, now they're like, how can we get more people to use these contact tracing apps? And we know that Google's app came back recently. It was caught collecting location data. It was caught doing a lot of other nefarious things. Apple's is likely doing the same thing. Of course, they're using this type of data in many ways for the map overlays. It's getting creepy out there, guys. You don't want to be using this kind of stuff. All right, so anyway, there's some arguments here in this crazy guy's article. To encourage people to download the COVID app, alert app, we want to use viral processes as we are attempting to contain an actual virus. That's right. We need to make an app go viral to contain a virus. The irony is not lost on 2020. And yes, maybe we'll look back on this year and we'll go, well, 2020's vision's hindsight, right? Or was it, anyway, hindsight's always 2020, I guess. Yeah, it's be a new one. All right, yes, the challenge, because many of these app downloads are driven by people sharing thoughts and they are together, and most of us are living in a relative isolation at the moment. You think? So he said a reward system could be used to boost the adoption of the apps. Imagine a company with reward points, like credit cards, airlines, and supermarkets, offering bonus points for anyone unwilling to install the app. Might require some software, but also be done at points of sale and upon delivery of meals with humans verifying an app install. Okay, there's a couple things to unpack here. First, if you're like a child, you're like, give me credit card points and airline miles to download an app. Grow up, child. Grow up. Now, of course, we have to have a human come and handle your phone to verify the app is installed. So, you want me to download a contact tracing app so that we can stop the spread, and you want a person to handle my phone which are well known to be viral and bacterial vectors, in order to verify it's installed. Maybe I just show it, hand it to them, and they're still within 6 feet of me. I mean, really, guys, do you want to keep people safe or not? This is why I don't care. All right. Or maybe Apple and Google could offer incentives right in their app store. Ooh, you'll get a $5 credit for installing this app. Negative $5 to download this app. Yeah, set the precedent for that. We're going to see some real malware start to spread. You want to talk about virus spreads, man? We'll see the Joker malware we'll look at later on today. We'll see that spread through phones faster than COVID spread through Wuhan. All right. We should never have a COVID-19 vaccine. It could take months to distribute. Those most in need will likely get it first. Majority of us will have to wait. What if people could jump ahead in the queue based on how many months they've been using the app? Oh, there you go. You can sign up to get the untested vaccine faster by using the app. You're just selling your point now, buddy. You're selling your point. What if you could jump ahead of the queue? All right, I heard that one. In other words, we can make the app installs the means of paying it forward. The return is we can get vaccinated with the untested vaccine earlier. He also says schools that don't allow kids to have their phones on during the school day should reverse the policy. Great. Let our kids have their phones more. School kids need to have the app installed on their phones right now. They need to be allowed to carry those phones around all day. For snapping those back to school photos and posting them to Facebook, parents should ensure their kids have the app installed. As we head into the second wave, the rest of us should install it immediately too. Fear porn for your entertainment. Very interesting. Well, Amazon is now letting you pay with your palm. And if this is not 1984, I'm not quite sure what is. So this is a full-fledged biometric data. It is scanning your veins. It is scanning your bones. It is scanning your everything. It is basically doing a full-fledged biometric protocol. All right, so you go in and you don't need an Amazon account even. All you need is a phone, your palm, and a credit card. Of course, it ties it all in. And by the way, this video is hilarious because one of the things they're talking about in here, like they actually counteract their early on. Like, have a look at the promo video for this. Let's go ahead and watch the promo video. I think it's worth the watch.
This is Zoe. Just like you, she uses lots of different cards and IDs to get through her day. What if all Zoe needed was herself?
So it's like you need all of these different cards and things to get through your day. Oh, no, we're just going to use a single card now. Think of that. I guess how many cards do you carry around? Anyway, let's go ahead and watch the rest of this.
Introducing Amazon One, a free service that lets you use your palm to quickly pay for things, gain access, earn rewards, and more. Let's say you're grabbing your favorite coffee bag.
So there you go. You just accidentally move your hand right over to grab your coffee. Ching, check, you're paid. You don't even need to think about it. Guys, how easy is this going to be to implement accidentally? Of course, you may or may not have missed it, but I'm going to back up a little bit here. Watch this guy over here. They're trying to show the relieving the pain points here. Watch this dude behind her in the line.
Rewards and more.
He's looking for his wallet.
Let's say you're grabbing your favorite coffee beverage, or heading into the office, or checking out.
Gotta get to the office. So they want to use this not just for paying for things, but also for biometric login. So you walk up to your door at work, you just scan your hand, and you're good to go.
Just hover your palm, and you're on.
Oh, this guy dropped is that his keys? Oh, pacifier. I don't know. He dropped something here. He's got the dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. He's got a fanny pack. Okay, news for the fanny pack lumberjack here. When you're carrying a child through the store, bring a cart, not a basket. You can put the kid in the cart. Just parenting tip 101.
Your way. It's as easy as that.
But boom, she's just like checks in, checks out, and boom, picks up the stuff along the way because this lady's got it. Notice the colored black woman. She's on the ball, and the white dude's just a baffling buffoon.
Sign up is free and takes less than a minute. All you need is a credit card, your phone number, and your palm. That's it. Since your palm is unique and can't be lost or misplaced, you can get things done quickly and securely. And with more experiences on the way, Amazon One will help you get even more done, simply by being you.
Oh, did you notice this? Have a look at this one. Have a look at this dystopian-ness. You just sit down at the cafe, shine your palm. Oh, look at that. It automatically knows your favorite food and it addresses it for you. Isn't that a little dystopian?
Simply by being you. Now, Zoe has more time to do what she loves, indoor skydiving.
More time to do what she loves. Guys, if you need to save the 15 seconds to pull out the cash and pay the cashier, you would seriously have to check your schedule in your life. But that's kind of what they're doing here. And here's actually the press release from Amazon's website. So this guy here introducing Amazon One, new innovation to make everyday activities easier. So you got the little palmy scan thing here. So why did you create it? You know, to gather dystopian information and feed the selfish ledger, of course. Why'd you pick palm recognition? Well, you know, the mark of the beast type of thing. It's got to be on the palm or the forehead. We went with the palm because it's a little easier. Amazon account required? Of course not. We want everybody to use this, whether or not you think we're an evil company. What device is actually scanning? What is the device actually scanning? So when you hold your palm over it, it evaluates multiple aspects of your palm. No two palm are alike. We analyze all these aspects. Actually, it says somewhere else, it's going to look at the bone density. It's going to look at the vein patterns and maybe the fingerprints. I can't remember for that one there. How do you protect it? Oh, of course, protecting the information is absolutely paramount. But, you know, hackers will still get in there anyway, or they'll just put it on an unsecured S3 colander. There you go. If you decide you don't want to use it anymore, can you delete it? You can request to delete your data associated with it. I like this. You can request to delete it. What if they say no? Are they deleting it through all of their corporate backups? I don't think so. You might have a deleted on their main service right now, but can it go back through and verify deletion through all their backups? Highly doubt it. We believe customers should always be in complete control, except when we're in control. So it's now available in some Amazon Go stores. And do you have any third-party customers use it? Well, coming on down the pipeline, we will be. We just haven't quite strong-armed everybody into it quite yet. So there is our privacy news. If you want to help support the channel, you'll like what you saw around here, you can check out our affiliates. We have a full list of affiliates at switchedtolinux.com/affiliates. We're highlighting A2 hosting today. This is where I use all of my hosting for all of my clients. I have about 30, 40, I don't know, however many client websites over there. And you can get your shared hosting for as little as $3 a month. VPS as little as $5 a month, all the way up to dedicated servers. They're excellent at what they do. I call them up. I get somebody in my own country. That's a bonus point for me. And they work very fast. So definitely check out A2 Hosting if you are in need of a website. And now on to the business section. So from CNET, 3D printed houses in just 24 hours, now shipping in California. Of course, the funny thing is, since they're California, these 350 square foot houses, I think are going for $115,000. Dude, buy a camper. So I couldn't find the actual information, but some people are referencing a video that I have not been able to find. But yeah, they were talking about it being $115,000. But the cool thing is, they can 3D print these things in like in a day, and it's very small. It's basically like a pot. So I can kind of envision the California of the future. They bring in these giant 3D printing machines and they just build stacks and stacks of these on top of each other. And then you just have like a glass elevator outside and you just zoom on up and you go into your own little 350 square foot pod. It's kind of like the Matrix, but you can detach yourself from it every now and again. Of course, if it's a smart city, you really can't detach yourself from it. But anyway, it's an interesting idea. I like the fact that they're doing some of the 3D printing designs. The UV light from the sun helps harden the mortars and things that are being used in it. And they're mostly made out of plastic. So it's definitely an interesting idea. We need to bring the price down a little bit because I think $115,000 for 350 square feet is just a little on the steep side. I don't know. You guys let me know. Is that a little on the steep side or not? All right, a couple of ISP videos here. So AT&T first took $283 million, but did not deploy required broadband. So one of the things in the Telecommunications Act, was it 96, I think? The Telecommunications Act is they allotted a lot of funds to literally hand it to the ISPs because they were going to just push broadband internet to the whole world, right? Well, the whole country, I should say. So all these ISPs took all the money, turned around, gave millions of dollars in bonuses to their executives, and never actually pushed broadband out to the places they were supposed to. Well, the same thing happened in Mississippi. So Mississippi asks the FCC to investigate AT&T's patterns of submitting false data. Of course, the FCC, they're like, of course not. I want to work for Verizon soon. Trump might be gone to the coop soon, and Biden's going to replace me because I was appointed by Trump to the commission chair. So I want to go back to working in the field. So anyway, AT&T took $283 million, but did not actually deploy what they said they would deploy. They went back through and tested several addresses that should have been directly within the service areas, like in the center of service areas, and none of them actually had any service. So basically, AT&T stole $283 million of federal funds to build out their internet infrastructure, and we're not able to do it. 2020, the end of 2020 is the deadline. Of course, 2020 happened. They're like, never mind. Let's say 2022. Why not, right? But basically, by the end of the year, they're supposed to have all these out, but they're like, we need more money to do this because, our executives got paid all the cash and we didn't actually have anything to put down here. Basically, they're getting investigated for this. Meanwhile, another lawsuit with Verizon and AT&T, both of them together, they have to pay $127 million to settle California and Nevada whistleblower cases. So basically $138.7 million. This actually had to do with there was government contracts that AT&T and Verizon were providing government services or services to the government. And they end up overcharging the cases. Somebody at the company found out about it and reported to the government that they were overcharging the cases, and then they were fired for, bringing this dirty laundry before it. Well, they were actually ruled that the companies were actually guilty. The whistleblower need to get paid, and so Verizon and AT&T, in addition to defrauding the government, billing them more than they said they were going to bill them, now they have to pay off the whistleblower as well. So there you go. AT&T, Verizon, ISPs in general, they are the most loved and cherished, the most loved and cherished of all people out there. So anyway, that's that. All right, next article here is from The Verge. World's first foldable PC is now available to order from Lenovo. Why do you even need this? I'm completely baffled, especially when you see the next picture down here. Have a look at this guy here. So you have a foldable computer that you need to carry around an external keyboard to operate. Does this design not make more sense? You get one screen with a keyboard built in that you're not going to lose. Rather than this foldable thing, which has this usable space here, probably mostly not usable space down here, and then you have to have a separate detached keyboard in order to actually use the thing. How do you even hold this thing in such a way to see all elements appropriately? This thing just doesn't make sense. They're literally doing this crap just to see what schmuck buys it. What did George Carlin say? Nail together two things that have never been nailed together before, and some schmuck will buy it. All right? I mean, come on. I just don't get it. But hey, at least Lenovo is starting to sell computers with Linux on it. Unknown if I can get the foldable computer with Ubuntu. That would be kind of cool, but yeah, I think I'm going to give that one a pass. You guys let me know. Are you going to give it a pass too? Let me know what you think. All right, so this one here from Eurogamer, the Xbox Series X, different from like the Xbox X. Like Microsoft has this fundamental problem with naming stuff. But the Xbox Series X, if you want to get the expandable memory, it's not compatible with other things for its games. It's going to cost you 220 extra schmackaroonies in order to expend the hard drive space on your device where everything, it's like, I think 5 games will fit on the internal hard drive as it is, so that's kind of what we get. And I don't know exactly how many games will fit on it, but probably honestly not a whole lot. They're making them with only a 500 gigabyte SSD, but if you want to actually make use of the thing, you need to buy the extra terabyte expansion for an extra $220. Now, there was some discussion in the Discord server about this, and I think it was Tech Haberdashy brought up. He researched this a little bit more. I think it was him. And basically they were saying that you could actually use a standard external hard drive or a standard external USB drive for older back-compatible games, but not for the games specifically built for this gaming system. So if you're just wanting to load up a device with a lot of your older favorite games that you're porting over from your old system, you can actually do that on a standard external hard drive, to my understanding, based on the discussion in the Discord server. And if I'm wrong about that, pardon me, someone correct me on that. But to play these games, you need this special one. A lot of it is because the technology being used, there is a special type of hard drive formatting on this, and I don't see it in the article, so it must have been in the Discord server, where it has to do mostly with the speed and the access of the data on the drive. You need this newer type of file system to manage playing these particular games here. But that's definitely an interesting one. And on to our final story in our business section. Coinbase doubles down on anti-politics stance. Of course, we saw this week, if you were following it all, the Joe Rogan stuff, and I generally don't follow Joe Rogan, so but I did catch a lot of it because it was interesting. He made this $100 million deal or something with Spotify to move exclusively onto Spotify. But Joe Rogan, he'll literally have anybody on his show. And he doesn't sit there and call them evil, bad names. He didn't sit there and try and cancel them. He literally just sits down across from them and finds out exactly what they believe and lets them explain their beliefs. He does very little pushback. It's mostly, hey, let's see, what do you actually believe outside of all the noise? And that is the reason I respect what Joe Rogan does. But he came to Spotify, and the Spotify employees lost their ever-loving bleeps. Okay, like, oh my God, you're platforming racists and homophobes and all sorts of people that we don't agree with. And they had this giant hissy fit and caused all sorts of problems. If you notice lately, Joe Rogan stuff is showing up on YouTube again. He's like, yeah, and you know what? Spotify's going to have to pay out that contract. So here's a bunch of morons who are low-level, mostly low-level employees who had a hissy fit because they think that words are violence. Words are not violence, people. Just because I disagree with your viewpoints does not mean I'm against everything you stand for. This is why you're crazy and why people don't like what you're doing for the most part. And so when these people take over these companies, it causes all sorts of things to get all crazy. So Spotify ends up losing $100 million, and they're going to have to pay for that breached contract. And Joe Rogan's back pushing stuff back to YouTube again. They caused some serious financial loss, and if Spotify survives, it will be a miracle. Well, Coinbase comes down like, hey guys, we're a meritocracy. You want to get in here and talk about all of your critical race theory and your other crazy agenda talking points and get political and all this crap? He says, we have an exit package for you. Leave the company. We're going to hire people who are here to build a good Coinbase system. And I gotta say, when I have to start exchanging cryptocurrency because of this guy's stances, I will probably create an account at Coinbase because of this. All right? Because of this. Because they're saying we are here to produce a product for everybody. You know, guys, Eli the computer guy is right about this. When he was talking about some of the Spotify stuff, he's like, you want to get a whole bunch of people who are screaming and having a hissy fit about either this presidential candidate or this presidential candidate. Have you forgotten that right now both presidential candidates are at a line for a 50-50 split? That means if you want to take such a firm stance and announce that everybody that's for the candidate you're against is just bad and evil and all that nasty stuff, they will stop using your product and your business will fail. And then you'll want to be candidates to pay me off. Yeah, because they don't have any money coming in anymore. And so Coinbase is doubling down. We're a meritocracy. We're bringing in the right people for the right job to do the very thing that we need to do. In other words, we are going to be here to create a cryptocurrency exchange. If you're here for any purpose than helping us create the greatest cryptocurrency exchange, here's your exit package. Take your severance package and go find a job somewhere else that actually wants to hire an activist. We want to hire people who will build a coin exchange. Deeply respect that. That's exactly what business needs to do. So now that these guys took a backbone, hopefully more companies will follow them along, because this is what we need. We need companies who are not going to be full of activists. We need companies that say, we are producing a product. Irregardless of your politics, we are producing a product. And that's kind of what I like about this one here. So anyway, that is our last article in our business section. If you like my work and you'd like help support what we are doing, we do have a new Subscribestar page. FYI, if you are already on Subscribestar, I did not realize this until today when I was looking into things. Until I have 5 people on Subscribestar, everybody that's on there has to manually go into your account and click the renew button. So if you think you're subscribing on Subscribestar, you haven't unless you go in and re-up it every month until I get 5 people on there. All right, so brand new system. You can jump on over 1, 5, 10, or 25. These will allow you to participate on the Thursday live streams, and there's some other things back there as well. Oftentimes I bounce off some of the things that I'm doing off the community over there as well, and we have a supporters section on the Discord server as well. So anyway, you can head on over there to Subscribestar if you'd like to help support the channel. We also have Patreon, patreon.com/TOMM, and we have thinklifemedia.com. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.